Today we'll be assembling the Marvel Crisis Protocol compatible token tray organizer by Tabletop Armory. We're going to start with these 5 main components, the base plate and the outer shell. First we're just going to fit everything together here just to make sure dry fits well. Perfect. We're going to take our handy dandy super glue, prefer the gel type, and we're going to run a bead down the edge here. This puts glue on both the inside and outside tabs at the same time. Also run a bead up the edges. Do the same for the outer walls there. And we're going to run a bead down this long piece here. And we'll put a little on the edge there. Well, we're going to start with just pulling up these two sides and bringing them together. Get a nice firm press together. Now, even though it's not totally dry, we're going to put on our next piece here on this side. We're going to run another bead. A little bit on these little end tabs again. And on these end tabs here. And we're going to lift that into place. Finally, we'll get our last long edge here. Run a bead down there. And up these. And lift into place. Again, firmly press all the corners into each other. And make sure these are all making contact. Sometimes you can see here that a piece will bow out. Not a problem, just hold it in place until it dries. We'll give this entire thing about 3 to 5 minutes just to dry up for our next section. For the next part, these are the main 4 pieces that we'll need. These are going to be the inner wall that goes around. It is ensured to see that these orientated correctly. Okay, bring our main body back in here. 2 shorter ones are definitely going to go on the ends. The one with the single slot is going to go on the end where you have all these holes in the bottom here. Double slot will go on the opposite side. This piece here has got all the cutouts on one side, but is smooth on the other side. This one is going to go up at the top here. And this one that has cutouts all along it will be our bottom piece. These ones are more spaced out, and the more spaced out side pieces will go on this side. All right, we're going to start with the long pieces that go along the edges here. You have to make sure that the point upwards, so the big, thicker tab will be on the bottom and touching the base. Again, make sure that these cutouts here are going to go onto the side that is clear. So that'll be your left side. Since this is how we want it to install, we're going to glue the back of it. Put a nice bead down the whole thing. And then drop it in against the wall here. And press it down. Beautiful. We'll take our next piece. Again, these have more space between them, so they'll go on our right here. Going to glue the back. And press this in. Perfect. Now these 2 side pieces here are probably the hardest part. Not difficult, just make sure everything lines up. This cutout here will go on the right side, and this cutout will go against your bottom wall, as long as you have it orientated this way. I'll put glue all along the back side there. And you just gotta make sure you line it up just right, because it's gonna be a tight fit. Go little by little on both sides, so you don't blow out the edges. Oh. Any glue on top, go ahead and wipe it away. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This piece doesn't matter which way you flip it, as it's the same. Put glue. Yeah, nice and tight fit. There we go, got lots of glue on top there. That's all right. All right, perfect. Let's give those just a couple minutes to dry. Now we have these pieces that go into the bottom here. This one right there. We're going to apply a little glue onto the bottom of these, each piece, and they all don't have a specific spot they go into. But the short ones go in the short spots, the long ones go in the long. A little much there. There we go. And perfect. The last piece I advise gluing in is this one. It's got the two slots next to each other and one down here. The two slots are going to go down back towards you, closer to this edge piece here. We're going to put a little bit of glue into these corners. And I like to put a little dot in the center. Line it all up. It should stick right in. Get a little cleanup there. There we go. That will be a brace for the rest of the pieces. Now you should have 5 pieces left here. We're going to use these first 3, which are all the same. Slot in straight across. Perfect. And we got 2 more here. You will notice that one end is slightly bigger than the other, and this is the slightly bigger side. Slightly bigger. Slot in right here. Ooh. Oh, look at that. I got it flipped around. Perfect. Almost done. For the final stage, we have to put in the magnets into the 8 corners, 4 on top, 4 on bottom. You know, these 8 rectangular magnets. And you want to make sure that their orientation with all other parts of your project is the same. So I advise taking another part of your project, going and testing to make sure the magnets go the same way. So we know that this bottom one touching this magnet is going to be the one we want to use first. So I'm going to make sure I keep their orientation correctly by holding them. I'm going to put a drop of glue in here. I'm going to shove this magnet in. Would not be afraid to put too much glue in these corners. Probably have to wipe away a little extra one way or another. Then I'm going to repeat this process for all top 4 corners. Then we're going to flip over our main body here. Again, we want to make sure that our magnets are the same direction. So if I grab my another layer of my project, snap them on there. So this is my new bottom piece. Make sure you're using the back of your other project. And we're going to fill in each hole, slot in a magnet. And for the last one, grab my little file here, just to grab onto the magnet. Since I have large fingers, I'm going to use one last drop of glue, and I'm going to use the file to drop the magnet into place. Perfect. I'm going to flip it over and do a little check in each corner, just to see if any glue has severely overflowed itself and seeped out, but we are looking good. And that's it. You've completed your token organizer. It's ready to go and be stacked up with the other parts of your project.